And we're live. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel. As always, we got another awesome live stream. Today, we're going to be doing all things titanX, and we got an awesome announcement at the end of this live stream, so definitely stay tuned. And for this live stream, I got a special guest, one of my homies from across the blockchain. I want to invite to the stage Adam from Viber Finance. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, brother. How's it going?
Going good. And we're live.
Dude, we are live, and it feels good, bro. titanX is starting to go viral, and seeing some of the Hex OGs talking about it now. Man, you got to love it.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. I actually want to ask you about that. So, funny part about this. Fashion Coder, she's awesome. Interviewed her before. She's actually doing video on titanX as well. So, do you think like titanX is growing on the Hex community a little bit?
I do. I think it is, bro. It's so similar. If you can't see that, Jake definitely derives some of titanX's game theory from Hex, from Zen, from all these different projects. You know, I don't know. It was kind of glaringly obvious, and we saw it with Zen. You know, a lot of people don't talk about it, but if you look at the wallets, there's a big correlation between Hex whales and Zen whales, and vice versa. I think titanX is the same thing, and as the price goes up and people feel more comfortable talking about it, I think we'll see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do see a lot of people saying titanX is a copycat. One thing I want to say, it's not a copycat, it's different code. My definition of a copycat is when you actually fork a code instead of creating it to like begin with. So, I really do see this project taking off. I do see a lot of people in Zen and Hex getting into it. I don't think it's like similar to Hex in a sense where they're going for like the same market share. I think it's its own thing and it's its own variable. But for the comparison's sake of trying to understand it, it's easy to compare it to Zen and Hex. I don't know if that made any sense, but I think you get where we're going with that. Now, let's talk a little bit about some charts before we get into some more titanX alpha. So today we had some blood in the streets last night. Everybody was freaking out. It was pretty crazy. So we did a little bounce up. RSI seemed like it was a little bit overbought, and we dipped back down. So we went from, I think it was like right around like 44K down to 41K. What do you think's going on, man?
So I mean, I think we had what, 8 green weeks in a row. So I think this was retail started to FOMO in. And I think once exchanges see that there's a certain amount of longs, it's time to liquidate them. And I think it's just part of the game. It's part of the market cycles. And this was a healthy pullback, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. When this thing just started shooting up, I got so fearful, dude. I mean, we were in this weird phase where like everyone was saying, like, oh man, there's gonna be a retracement, there's gonna be a retracement. And then you're sitting there, you're just like I know me and you, we don't follow crowds. So we're just like, do we listen to these people? Or do we just start buying more stuff? That was the hardest thing. I remember we were on the phone talking about this. We're like, dude, I was like, what do we do? But I think it's healthy. And, B Roots did a really great breakdown earlier. But overall, I think we're going to bounce down to 39K ish. And then I think we might see some action depending on where this closes out going on the future. So overall, still bullish. I mean, come on, guys. Look, we were down here at one point. Like where we were coming from. We were literally down in like the 16K zone. And then now we're all the way up to, gosh, in the 40s. So it definitely feels good. Now let's take a look at crypto bubbles. Obviously, there's going to be blood in the streets. Things are going to go crazy. KuCoin, great exchange token. Believe it or not, they didn't really have much of a bear market. It's been stable the whole time. Some people think this might be the next Binance Smart Chain. Another one, I don't even know what Injective is. AVAX gaming run. A lot of people count this blockchain out after its scandal. Adam, what do you think about Avalanche going to the next bull market?
You know, I've been bullish on it. It was Avalanche and Solana and Era, XLM, and Algorand. They've been kind of the blue chips, the L1s that I've been focusing on this bear market. And we saw so much FUD from Solana, and it was kind of apparent to me that it was going to survive the test of time, and this was just a temporary thing. And now 8x, 10x later off that bottom, oh, it's like 7x. It feels good. And then with Avalanche, no one was really talking about it a year ago. People were just flooding everything, and I was telling people, look at how much they're building with all of the gaming that's going on with South Korea, especially. They're doing stuff with Amazon Web Service. So they just have a lot that they were building in the bear market. And now you're starting to see that the projects that built the most, I think the prices are starting to reflect it. It's not that much spec right now. It's a lot of the older projects that have been around are outperforming the new stuff, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's how you know we're getting close to a utility run. And in this bear market, I'm pretty sure we talked almost almost every single day, if not, a couple of weeks in between. And the crazy thing is, you were so big on Avalanche and Solana, and I never touched that. And I'm kind of eating my words right now because you were actually on the ball with those two blockchains. And I also want to put this out there within Pulsechain community. You were the one influencer that was on the ball with Avalanche and Solana, man. So you absolutely crushed it. And the other thing I want to put out there is that, believe it or not, Avalanche is probably going to become the king of games when it comes to the gaming industry. And they're also having a sidechain called Beam, and Beam is getting really, really big when it comes to in-game development. I'm not sure if it's here or not. I'm not going to bother. So definitely really exciting stuff. Now, moving to the top 200, a lot of blood in the streets. Nothing that really stands out. Craziest thing is, a lot of people are telling me about Luna Classic stablecoin. Apparently, some people think this is going to be the Pegning 2.0. I'm not going to even touch that, but if
Yeah.
you guys want to be degens and speculate, be my guest. I want everybody to win. And then our beloved Pulsechain is still holding there, and maybe it will move up to the top 100 one day. So awesome stuff to see what's going on in the market. Everything's there's a couple red days, but keep in mind we had a massive run up. So these are the best opportunities. Now, Adam, I brought you on here for a specific live stream. We got to talk about titanX. As of today, what's your overall thoughts on titanX? Let's hear it.
It I'm more bullish on it now than I was when we first started, when it went live. And then, when we first were reading the white paper and talking about it, we the worries and concerns that we initially had, we worked through or figured out that they weren't even concerns. And then after talking with Jake, it kind of being on the same page with, if I was in his shoes, what I would do. Like, he thinks exactly the way I do almost. And it's good to see that other people see the light. And it's not just us out here screaming from a mountain. And there's other people now in the community. Marco, I forgot to mention that earlier. He's making the titanX swag and gear now. And he was huge doing it with the Hex and the Pulse gear. And it's really popular. So seeing just little things like that, and the amount of miners now, 125,000. I think this project is here to stay. And once it kind of blows up like this, that's when it catches the next level of influencers and then can really pop. So I'm excited, man. It's feels good to have been there early when everyone was fudding it and see
Yeah.
through it. And when you get the messages from people saying, I'm so glad I got into titanX day one. If I didn't listen to you or Kris or any of the few of you guys talking about it, I would have missed this. And it's the best performing coin with Hex and Pulsechain doing this. I needed titanX, and I hear that a lot. So it just feels good that people are winning, not missing out and screaming.
Yeah, the crazy part about this was we were the first ones to really cover titanX. I brought Jake on. We just talked about it. and did a live stream. That first live stream got absolutely chastised, vilified. I saw the comments. People did not like it. And then we did a follow up with me and you and Jake, and that one was fun. That was cool. We talked about titanX. We got into numerology, and just outside of Jake really breaking down the project, the guy, he's a big thinker, very sociable, God, I can't even say the word right. I can't believe I jacked that up, but he's very good with connecting with people, and there's a lot more to him. And I felt like he got absolutely vilified. And all in all, I really do believe he provided a really great product, and I'm excited to see what it does in the bull market. And from where we started and where we're at right now, I think it was like 300 people got in on day one. And then we had this huge gap. And then now we're seeing like upwards of 10 to 20,000 people now in. So the community is growing exponentially. And like what Richard Hart was saying, when your community grows like that, the price goes up exponentially. So really, really great stuff. Really great analysis of titanX. Now, before we get into some Dune analytics, get into some chart analysis and all that good stuff, I got to ask you, man, what's your price prediction for titanX? You expecting 1 billion X or 280,000 X, or are we going to Planet X, or are we going to the firmament?
It's going to the firmament, bro. That's all, we all know that. Come on now. It's going to the firmament, and anyone telling you it's going to the moon, that shit is a red flag. And seriously, yeah, it's a red flag. We've never been there. We're going to the firmament, and I think this project is going to be the one that we thought it could be Zen, maybe could be Pulsechain, and now it's looking like titanX could be the one that does the 1000X from the bottom. And it's funny how things just change, weekly almost. Was in the Zen community, they're fracturing over there. I don't know if it's like the Clio effect or something, but seems like a bomb went off in that community, and it's wild how that goes. And I think that just shows you the overlap there really is in the communities, because I think people just went from Hex kind of to Zen, and then from Zen, they're migrating a little bit over now to titanX. And yeah, dude, it's the cream of the crop will end up in titanX, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And before I do a little screen share, I just want to wish Lindsay a very special happy birthday. If you guys go check her out on Twitter, wish her happy birthday. It is awesome day, and she's a really great influencer, and hope you guys have a really good one. So really good stuff.
Appreciate it. Hell yeah.
Now let's just go right into some of the stuff that we're talking about. Now titanX from just like a face value. Sorry, these are left over. Now, if you don't use the log scale, it definitely looks down. Now, when you turn on log, it actually makes the chart much more easier to understand. That was part of the reason why I wanted to show you guys that. Now, what's interesting about the price of titanX, some people thought it was just going to go up, and then it's just going to crash down, and then just do this downward chart effect going out down to the bottom. Now we're just trading sideways. Adam, in your opinion, why are we trading sideways, and what do you think this is an indicator of?
I think it's just people did early miners probably to test the system to make sure it worked. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. And I think it's also too, there could be people out there that don't want to see the project do well and are just dumping it to getting out. I'm seeing some crazy stuff on Twitter, but we're moving up and to the right, and every day that inflation, it drops a tiny bit, a tiny bit, a tiny bit. And I think that if you just look at the chart a little bit up and to the right, it's kind of reflects the inflation, the inverse inflation.
Yeah. Well, I think the big point you're trying to get across is the inflation is not really impacting the price, because the buy and burn is stabilizing the price and is trading sideways. And basically what we're starting to see is more adoption, more people coming in. The buy and burn is actually extremely useful, and it's looking really good. And the one thing I will say is we're sitting at this price target. I mean, not price target, excuse me. We're sitting at like it's like 5 zeros and a 7. We're about I would say a 7 or 8x. Well, we'll just say 9x away from all-time high. Adam, do you think we can hit a 9x on titanX before the end of the year, or do you think that's going to come in 2024?
I don't think by the end of the year. I think it'll be in 2024. And if I was Jake, I would be using that buy and burn as absolute least as I could. And I think just the everyday buying and selling, people mining, I would guess it's outperforming what he thought it would do. And with that, I think he has the power to increase that buy and burn in the future if he needs to. So when that inflation really comes out in August, I think it'll be a good way for him to counteract it in a sense. But I don't think the price is gonna shoot up that high. I think this it'll just be a steady climb up and to the right. And we'll obviously see the pumps, but I mean, yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
Yeah, the one thing I'm really looking at when it comes to the titanX price action. I know I put this out there. So number one, we're looking at the value of the buy. Oh, excuse me. Here, let's come over here to the burn pool. See if it'll come out. Oh wow, it's not coming up. Oh, buy and burn. I'm sorry, guys. So number one, looking at the value of the V2 and the V1 buy and burn, which we're sitting at about 20 million. And the other thing I'm looking at is the price of Ethereum. Now, keep in mind, titanX is going to be this leverage play on Ethereum. And so as the price of Ethereum continues to appreciate, then you're going to see some sort of correlation with titanX. And so as of right now, we're getting up to about 2,300. And I do expect we're going to go down a little bit lower. I mean, we have a massive retracement. Well, not massive, but it's going to retrace a little bit. As we get up to the beginning of next year, we might get up to about 3K. And I think that's going to have a direct impact on how the price of titanX performs, because ultimately the buy and burn is estimated in ETH. And if ETH goes up, more titanX is burn off the market, more titanX burn off the market, price goes up. So in order for us to hit that all-time high, I think we need the price of Ethereum to be a little bit higher is the big point I'm trying to get across. So good stuff. Now, some other things that I wanted to talk with you about, Adam. Now, this is crazy. So a lot of people have been blowing this up on Twitter. We have over 54% of the titanX burnt right off the market. What's your thoughts on this?
That's incredible, dude. It really is. And it really hit me yesterday with just the staking. I was holding a liquid bag and I don't know why I didn't stake it right away, but just seeing how much I got in the first month, it was almost 20% the initial investment back. So this is just such a long-term play for me that it feels like anything short-term is a bonus. I'm focusing on August of next year. And if this keeps up, man, and I think it can't not. I feel like the buy and burn is at probably being used as little as possible. Ethereum is at a significantly lower price than it will be, I think, next August. I hope so. So, yeah, bro, this thing is, you just get more and more bullish on it every time you break it down or look deeper into it.
Absolutely. And I like to make a comment that I want to see the liquid supply of titanX get to 3.69% as a joke on Twitter. And people, yeah, it's funny. But the funny part about it was I never expected the liquid supply to get under 10%. And at one point, we were about to go down under 7%. I was like, holy smokes, this thing actually might get to 3.69%. I don't know what I would do if that pops up. And if that does happen, please screenshot it and tag me, because that would be absolutely crazy. Now, what I'm seeing here is we're getting a lot of titanX burn off the market. People are being incentivized to stake. I think a little bit of the staking has to do with the hyper, but I won't talk about staking yet because there's another cool graph we're going to look at. This is going to be a big graph live stream. But what I'm seeing is more people are incentivizing to stake, and with such a small liquid supply, this token could absolutely pump, especially on days where we have very low inflation output. And so having that very small liquid supply, not many people wrap their heads around. The price impact is insane. So if you guys go over to the Axis Alive token, so Axis, I believe it's 1 million tokens, and then I believe there's only 0.002% out on the market. And so people have been trading and trading and trading. And let me just show you guys what this token looks like. So people just sitting there been trading like crazy. And right now the market cap is 4.36 billion dollars. The liquidity is 165K. And I'm going to try to do a chart, but you guys will understand what we're getting up here. So I'm going to try to, all right, we'll just do it right there. This thing went up already like a 70x, if you can see that. Yeah, so a 70x from its top, and now it's sitting at like a 22x, and it's probably a little bit more than that. Let's see if I can get a little bit lower. Yeah, we'll do it here. Holy cow. All right, so it's already up 232x. So the point I'm trying to get across is if you go and you look down here, it actually talks about how I don't remember what the supply is, but the supply on the market's like 0.002% or something. And because of that, it drives the price up. And so that's what I'm seeing the formula here. Now, I don't think we're going to get to 0.0002% the supply of titanX liquid on the market. Please keep in mind. But as the liquid supply continues to decrease over time, this could potentially cause some pretty awesome price action going into the future. And please keep in mind, I'm speculating. I'm not that smart, but I do like to look at charts and I do like to look at numbers. So awesome. Now,
I remember it was like 11% a week or so ago, and then it was 8.5 last time I looked, and now it's 7.5. Dude, this was within 2 weeks.
oh yeah. Yeah, and if you just think about the game theory behind this, so if the supply decrease dramatically, we get some crazy price action, more people will mine. If more people mine, more ETH is going to be used to basically create miners so people can get more tokens. And then some of that ETH is going to be stored in staking contracts. So it's this like weird game theory where if we get a positive price action and all eyes go on titanX, I guarantee you the amount of miners will go up, and then it will actually add more momentum behind the token, because all that ETH that you use to get the token is being used to essentially either buy and burn, stake, or support the ecosystem. So the more I think about it, the more my mind just goes all over the place. I mean, it's just one of those protocols. So cool. Now let's get into some Dune analytics. I absolutely love shout out to Mike Dean. I just want to make this real clear. Mike Dean, yeah, this is his Twitter handle as well. If you guys get a chance, please check him out. I use his Dune analytics all the time. I did not create this. I just like to look at it and speculate like we always do. Now, here's something really interesting that Adam, you brought up. We have over 125,000 miners for titanX. Do you think we would have ever reached this point on this specific timeline since titanX started? This fast,
No,
excuse me. Yeah.
no, I don't. I didn't see it coming this fast. I think if it was on Pulsechain initially, we might have saw that just because it's expensive on Ethereum. And yeah, bro, that's I just try to think, all right, what was Jake's like number? If the project was successful after 6 weeks, what would that number be? Would it have been like 30K, 10K, 50K, 100K? And I think if the lower that number is, if he was hoping to be at 20,000 miners 6 weeks out or 30,000, whatever it is, I think we've overperformed it. I don't think he put that number at 150,000 miners 6 weeks out and the project's underperforming. I get the sense that he's very conservative and this thing is probably done 4 to 5x what he was conservatively estimating. And
Yeah.
that just to me means he's got that much more power to alleviate the August trillion trillion titanX dilemma.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a minute because I get a lot of questions. But here's the crazy part about it. So if I do a little math right here, so we have about a little less than 9,000 unique users, and then this is the number of miners. If you divide this number by this number, that means the average amount of miners produced per person is about 14. So you see people doing some game theory here. And I'm not saying everyone has like 14 miners. One person might do one, another person might do like 300. But overall, people are using this ecosystem. People like the game theory. There's a lot of strategy that's being involved, and I think part of the reason why that counter of how many miners been produced is because there's so many ways to win in titanX, and that's what I absolutely love about this. So really cool stuff. Now let's go through this, what I call the miner drought period. I'm gonna coin phrase that name. So basically, if you guys were watching me and Adam either via YouTube or Twitter, we started talking about titanX about a week before the actual DApp launch, and we got insane amount of miners on day one. People didn't know what was going on, and then the following day they saw that nothing bad happened or whatever, so then they jumped in on day two, and then day three went down to about 5,000 miners produced, and then from day four up to about day 27, we got barely any miners. In my opinion, I think what happened was, we didn't see any major price action. There was a lot of FUD events. And then we just started to see a huge influx of people coming in, producing miners. So it looks like in the future, after day 280 or around that period, we have a huge amount of titanX being printed, but also the supply shock is going to be extremely high because these days you'll have the greatest inflation titanX. Adam, what's your opinion about the low amount of miners being produced, and how do you think this is going to impact titanX future inflation during this time period?
I remember that the first couple weeks, because I was looking at it. We were in it pretty heavy, and that number wasn't. It grew hard the first 3 days, and then it really. I remember it was like, man, we just hit 20,000. I looked the next day, it was like 21,000. A couple days later, 22.5, and it was creeping up. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what that viral moment was, or that light bulb moment for the average person out there that was on the fence, but you could see that there was a lot. I mean, what it looks like within a week, we had more, a week's worth in one day.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's right.
40 days in, and the fact that they're getting a worse and worse rate, and we're still seeing people FOMO in. It's I don't know what else you could ask for. I mean, the every single thing you look at is so bullish. I haven't heard one piece of FUD, one argument, anything that has been logical or reasonable on why this thing's not going to do incredible.
Yeah. No, absolutely phenomenal points. And to build off of what you were saying about, how not many miners were starting this period of time, I think the main point I was trying to get across was on these days, you're going to have the highest miner output inflation rate. And conveniently, not many people were starting miners in these days. And then now, after a month, we just started to see a spike in activity. So It's actually really great to see. I know the first thing y'all are going to think, hey, there's a spike in miners. There, a lot of titanX is going to be produced. Well, if you go back on the white paper, you saw that there's an inflation curve that goes down exponentially. So getting in here was astronomically better than getting in here on day 37. So it's a really great observation to just keep in mind. Now, going down, let's take a little lookarooski at the titanX future supply. And I saw some very interesting trends. Now, it seems like a lot of people are going to be claiming their miners on January 1st of the new year and January 24th next year. Adam, do you have any thoughts on what's going on? Do you think there's speculation behind the hyper rollout, or do you think that's just a specific period of time based off like a 30 or off of like a 36 year or 90-day interval?
I'm getting the 24th there, I'm guessing, is day one people or people thinking, all right, I'm going to do it. Most people are doing 90 days. I'm going to front run it by 2, but I don't know why. Actually, no, that's for staking with the rewards. Yeah, I think it's just people just trying to game the system, to be honest with
Right.
you. And I think maybe people that got in early didn't really trust it. Maybe did like a 30, a 60 day, or those could be people's ladders for people that got in early. You know, it's hard to really tell, but I'm guessing the 24th there is people that tried to front run the 3-month by a couple days.
Right. This launched on October 28th, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I just looked at it. That's actually the 30-day interval. So I was just typing it in. So yeah, it seems like the 30-day interval. And then the new year, that would probably put it at about, well, actually, no, not 30 days. I'm sorry. I think that would be 90 days. I don't know what I just did on that.
Yeah, that's the 90 day, the 24th, I believe.
Yeah. 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 24th is 9 days. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool. Now let's get into the big thing, the big main concerning event. We got the titanX future supply coming out on August 3rd, 2024. We're getting about 9 trillion tokens, and then the following day 4 trillion tokens, and then the day after that 1 trillion tokens. So we got 14 trillion tokens coming into play from the day one miners. Adam, what do you think is going to happen on this day? What are your thoughts? How do you think this event's going to play out?
There's gonna be a lot of people flooding it, I think.
Right.
Being like, here comes the crash, here comes the crash.
Yeah.
And I think our friend Jakey there has some tricks up his sleeve potentially. I think this was, I mean, I remember early before it even launched, it was all about the miners. It was all about the max miner. It was all about the mining. And if that, you know, that makes me think, okay, if the general consensus was long term, he knew this was coming and he has a plan for it. That'd be my guess. And since
Yeah.
he's nailed everything already, it's hard to believe he hasn't ran through every single scenario of if there's 10,000 miners or if there's a million miners. How's this going to play out?
No, phenomenal points. Actually, let's do some moon math because we're talking the green room. So if we go over to, I believe it was the buy and burn wallet. Hold on, let me zoom out real quick. So buy and burn. This is 12 million, and then this is 9 million. So we'll put that at 20 million. And then if we come over here to titanX, and let's just do an assumption. Let's just say the price stays somewhere right around here and doesn't go up. If we come over here and we look at the USD value and do 2000000, did I do that right? Man, my eyes are terrible. Okay, so we're looking at about I think that's about 3 trillion tokens based off of the V1 and V2 buy and burn. And so we have about 15 trillion tokens coming in that day coming out. So what I think would most likely happen is that anyone who gets those tokens, I think they're going to take a 33% of that, stake it on out to the future, get that big juicy Ethereum dividend. 33% might be sold, and maybe another 33% will be used in some application with Hyper. So I think with that buy and burn and all those three game theories, those three other game theories coming in, I do believe that there's going to be some price action. I don't want to be so speculative on it, but I also think these other factors are going to be in place that it's not going to make it like a doomsday event. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. We were talking about that in the green room. So if I have 5 miners that are coming out, that's what 8 or 10 billion coins, say 10 billion coins on day 280. I'm probably gonna want to stake some and get some ETH payments for the next 10 years. And then I might sell a little bit, and then I'll probably just create new miners. And I wonder if if he could put a function in where instead of like when you claim your day 280, if you want to create another one, and you have to come up with the ETH. I wonder if there's a way that you could use your titanX at the equivalent of like the whatever 0.22 ETH it's going to be at that point, and then use that to create a new miner with instead of having to swap for the ETH.
That actually be really cool. That's actually a great idea. Wow. Yeah. No. 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 I think that'll be an interesting application. I'm sure. I'm sure you'll watch this live stream and we'll say something about it. But that would be extremely convenient. But overall, another big takeaway.
Because to think, that's what I said. Because think about if it's $70 to do a swap, and you have 10 miners, and you want to convert some of them back, you're gonna have to swap at least 2 or 3. There's a couple $100 in ETH. That could be a lot of savings potentially, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. And I think the one big takeaway I want to say from this event, I know we got a big another big mint happening. I believe that's in September. But overall, this event is going to be like the highest inflation event we'll see, because by then, once we get closer to the bull market, the amount those miners are reproducing is going to be astronomically lower. So in my opinion, when we get through this event, this is where we're going to start to get closer to what I call where we transition from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary. When will the buy and burn and all the mechanics behind the titanX ecosystem make it so that titanX goes from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary? And there's going to be a time date event. In my opinion, I think that's going to happen on day 333. That is my prediction. Number one, it's after day 280. And then number two has a lot to do with what we see with the ETH payouts coming out. So actually, I was going to get into this later, but I think this would be really good if we talk about, when we get closer. Actually, wait, never mind. We'll talk about it in a minute. But regardless, I think right around day 333, when we see the network usage go up more, you need to have more ETH going in to mine out titanX. The buy and burn pool is going to increase astronomically. We're going to have more ammo to burn that token off of the market and overall support the entire ecosystem. And when that happens, that's when we're going to see some really awesome price action. I'm absolutely stoked for that event. So what about you, Adam? What do you think? Do you have a prediction when we go from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary?
You got a good guess there. I'm gonna just say day 420 if you're going with 333. No, I'm going with 369. Day 369.
420.
And then, yeah, Hyper will come out on 420. That's my guess.
Oh man, I love that. That's awesome. All right. Now, another really cool Dune analytics. So I want to bring up Sun G created a really phenomenal coupled actually Dune analytics pools that you can use to evaluate titanX. One of the cool ones that he actually did was when version 1 buy and burn and version 2 buy and burn were used. And so something interesting that we were taking a look at. Oh, well, that was a little too much. On November 25th, the version 1 buy and burn actually kicked in. I mean, so you can see it right here. Now, if I come back here to the minted supply, I believe, was it here we can look at it? Yes. Yes. So November 25th, that was actually one of the biggest inflation supply events. We're looking at about 224 billion tokens. So it's interesting to see that version 1 kicked in. Adam, do you think there's some special algorithm behind version 1 that's monitoring the titanX supply, or do you think that was user implemented?
That's a good question. I don't. What is you can go in as a user and click that function. What when I don't know how often, but I'm guessing that there's some secret sauce going on behind the scenes. There
Mm-hmm.
would be my guess.
Yeah.
And I think I heard today that the goal is to eventually move everything to V2. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what I heard in Crypto Kindness's stream in the chat. So if that's eventually the goal to move it all over to V2, I think that's I'm gonna
Yeah.
look back into that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Jake was saying that he so he did add like the V1, the V2, and we did talk about on live stream that he was going to focus on one, and then later on, I believe he was going to renounce it, and then he added V1, V2, and I get what he was trying to do. He's trying to test case to make sure it's sustainable. And then in my last live stream, I got mixed up and I got absolutely vilified, but it's all good. No biggie. But it's just interesting to see how V1 is kicking in on the highest inflation events. And I do think that when January 1st comes around and January 24th comes around, that V1 might kick in as well, is what I'm predicting. I'm also taking a look at how much is being burned off the market and seeing if there's some sort of algorithm being used. Because if there is, I'm going to try to figure it out because I am Khaos Kris. I'm just kidding. But
So I'm trying to think if we on the charts, if what did it look like on the 25th? Because we have 100 times that coming out in a 3-day window in August.
oh, so wait, say again?
We
Like
have
what?
we had that was 220 billion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
On
220 billion.
So yeah, so we have 100 times that coming off when we have 20 trillion come out in the summertime. So what did that do to the price right there? If the price didn't really move,
On the 25th, what happened to the price? Okay.
yeah,
Well, let's just look at the day real quick. Um
the
it
price
actually
pump. What the hell?
yeah, it actually went down. Well, keep in mind the inflation started on the 24th and then it pumped it up on the 25th and then traded sideways and then made its next leg up. So,
So, then I don't know then if the highest inflation day didn't do anything to the price.
well, let's look at this right here. So 24th, let's see right here. So 23rd went in. Oh, excuse me, it was the 24th. I'm sorry. And then the buy and burn kicked in on the 25th. Yeah. So
Okay,
so
so the
they
buying bird did it. Okay.
yeah. So the buy and burn kicked in on the 25th, and then that's when we got that nice green candle, and then a little bit of sell off, and then we got some more momentum. So It's really interesting because that actually seems like it puts some life into the tote here. Let me increase this so it looks it's easier to see. Yeah, so it seems like it actually put some life in the token, and then we started this nice little uptrend coming up. Still working on the charts, but really interesting to see how that is actually playing out. So really cool. All right, now I think that's all I want to cover on this one. Okay, cool. Now let's get on to this next page. There was one thing I wanted to ask you about that I found very interesting. Now, I found this and I posted on Twitter. Whoa, there we go. If you guys go look at titanX staking, one of the biggest questions I hear is what are the intervals? Now, if you come over here to Sunji, he created this really cool pie chart that exhibits how long titanX is being staked out into the entire contract protocol. Right around 88%, if I did the math on that. No, 80%, I'm sorry. 80% of titanX is essentially being staked out 2,000 days and out. We're seeing a lot of people staking their titanX was at 6 years. Adam, why do you think people are staking so far out for titanX?
Time pays me app. Then the 70-year lockup influenced them.
Matty Allen reference. Time pays me.
I think it's the hexagons. It's the majority of hexagons in this, and they're long-term thinkers. They all have 5 stakes, and this project is it's not a pump and dump. It's not a get rich overnight. This is a long-term money generator if you understand how to use it. It just prints you ETH for years and years in the future. And I got 20% back within the first 40 days of my initial investment. And
Wow.
that's crazy to think about. So just think, where are we going to be in 2 years, in 4 years,
Right.
in 11 years? And to see that so the average or 70, 80% is locked up for 6 years. Yeah, that tells me there's a lot of hexagons in here. And there's a lot of people that see the long-term vision, which means Jake did a great job marketing this and conveying it's about the miners and thinking long term. And same thing with staking. When you're staking, think about more than one cycle.
Right. Yeah. No, phenomenal point. And the other thing I also want to throw out there, when it comes to the titanX staking, people are really speculating on hyper. This might be a great opportunity, and you can actually burn your titanX stake for hyper. So I think what's happening here is people are taking advantage of the fact that you get the ETH dividend. Hyper's rolling out. We don't really know what it is. I know everyone comes to my live stream and said and has me sit here and break down what hyper is when it comes to arbitrage and liquidity pools. But ultimately, when we were live streaming with Jake, he really explained how he learned from atropa and the PDI narrative and just made it astronomically better. So that's what that is what I'm using when I'm trying to forecast what hyper is. But ultimately, what I see here is you got two big narratives and situations that are coming down the line for titanX, and people are staking out and taking advantage of the situation, especially hexagons. And so, what I predict in the future when hyper's out, I think this thing's going to get cut in half. So, we're going to see this at like 27.5. This is probably going to get it to like 12%. People are going to burn for hyper. And what I think is if you burn half of your stake titanX and make sure you line it up based off of the amount of time, if you have multiple ones, there's a good chance that you might be able to maintain your dividend payout depending on how many people burn for hyper. And so what I'm thinking is as more people burn their stakes, your shares that you get from staking is going to increase your allocation in the pool, and you're going to get more ETH dividend rewards. So a lot of game theory, and I know I did not do a great job of explaining that, but ultimately the main point I'm trying to get across is when we see the hyper launch, there's a good chance that you might get a little bit higher of a ETH dividend if you chose to stake for a very long time. So,
Dude, no, dude, you said that was really well said. I completely agree with you 100%. But I don't. I could see a scenario where, yeah, I was telling a lot of people, just stake for the max when the hyper sacrifice comes out. It's like a mulligan because I had people that didn't understand that difference between mining and staking, and then just jumped in and staked everything for the max and didn't understand they had nothing coming. And people get their mulligan for that. But bro, I just think the 10, all the ETH divs for the rolling 888 days, I just don't see people giving that up, especially the type of person that would have gravitated towards this project early. It attracted the hexagon, the Zen, long-term delay gratification type person. And
Right.
I don't think that number is going to get cut in half. I really don't. I think it's going to stay very similar.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, no, very good point. And keep in mind this is all just speculation, and we're just trying to based on what we see, we're making predictions. Sometimes they come true, other times they don't. So, but we'll just have to see what happens when when that event comes right around the corner because we're all excited for Hyper. Now, last thing before we get into our special announcement, let's talk a little bit about rolling payout cycles. We've just got, I believe, what was it? The 28 day, or no, it was the 90 day, right? What was the big one? I think it was the 28-day payout cycle.
Yeah, it was just the last 28-day because there was a 28-day and then
Okay.
the 8-day was right before it.
Okay. So 56-day, we're gonna have 2 payout days with the 8-day. And something interesting, we're doing some math. Right when the 369-day payout cycle occurs, this first iteration, it seems like what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a payout day from the 90-day cycle on day 360. We're going to be getting a 28-day payout cycle on day 364. And then we're going to be getting an 8-day payout cycle on day 368. 4 payout days right next to one of the biggest payout days in 1 week. That is absolutely insane. Adam, your thoughts on this massive payout week or whatever you want to call it?
That's exactly why I don't think people are going to nuke their stakes to sacrifice for hyper.
Right.
I don't know. It'll be a good test case to see what ends up happening. But I remember now with the 28-day, we had the 8 days. On day 24, we had the 28-day and then the 32-day. So it was like payouts, 3 payouts within a week, and that's why it felt extra or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main point I'm trying to get across is when we get to that day 369 payout, that week is going to be absolutely crazy. And I guarantee you, some people are going to basically take profit from the payout. Some are going to buy in, and some are going to produce more miners. And in my opinion, well, you said it earlier. Many people really want that 369-day payout, and I guarantee you, when we get to that 88-day payout, this thing could be very well above $1 million worth of ETH. I could possibly see this getting up to like 50 million or maybe 75, depending on how much volume we get in titanX during the bull market. So that's what I'm really excited for when we get close to titanX birthday. titanX is going to have a very, very big birthday event. All you guys are going to be invited, and you're going to get a really, really big present. So awesome stuff. Now let me bring this down real quick. So, yeah, let's do the announcement. Then we'll run through questions. Sorry, guys, we got lost in conversation. Now we have a really special announcement. So me and Adam and our team, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting a trading group for anyone who is new to cryptocurrency, or maybe you're medium or advanced traders and you want to come in and talk about plays in the market, learn some more about different ecosystems, get into some strategies. And we're calling this new group the 28th Wealth Group. And so our goal is to onboard as many people, bring up their education level to our levels, and it's going to be a really great exclusive group if you want to get in, learn some new stuff about cryptocurrency. And if you work like a 9 to 5 job, or you're doing something where you don't have that much time to have all your attention into the markets, well, you can come and join this group, and we can help you update you with everything going on. Adam, do you want to say anything about the 28 Wealth Group?
Yeah, it's we did this last cycle with Facing Reality and myself, and there was a group. We started a Discord server, and kind of like it was a trading group, or a paid group. It was a one-time fee to enter, but just providing an atmosphere for people where they could come and just all talk, and everyone was on the same page. Like, you you all learn from each other, and I think that's what is we've set such a good example inside the Hex community and the Pulsechain community, it just overall in crypto. But a lot of people just they want somewhere they can go, they could trust, they could just ask questions inside of a group, just get certain guidance on something, and having people you could trust. I think that is priceless, especially nowadays with all the nonsense out there. If you could surround yourself with good people who've been around in the community for years, that's probably a better start than just going to Bybit and putting out some long, or doing something crazy. But we did it. We had a really good group in the last cycle, and just expanding from that, learning from it, and seeing what we could have done better and how we could have done that better, with all the knowledge and connections and just experience from now till then, or then till now. This is the time to do it again before things really start to get crazy. And that's what separates you from the rest of the people out there, is, can you get into the best performing projects this next cycle? And can you identify those narratives? And can you have the ability to go against the trend? It's not easy to buy into projects when every single person's funding them, or not a single person is talking about anything. It's not moving on the charts, and something you're looking at might have pumped already. You have to have that opposite mindset of being a savage and buying when there's blood on the streets. And it's not easy, but when you have people around you that have been doing it for a while and can show you that less is more sometimes, I think it's so valuable. And I'm looking forward to getting that started again, and with smarter, more knowledgeable, and just more experienced people. We kind of just wung it last cycle, and it ended up turning out great, but we made mistakes, and now's the time to do it right, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a phenomenal explanation. And the one thing I really want to emphasize is, we're still gonna do our weekly stream content, still talk about titanX, still talk about Pulsechain and whatnot. We're just creating more of an atmosphere where, some people need extra help when it comes to this space. Everybody understands that DeFi is so complicated. There's a lot of tips and tricks that I wish I knew. I'm sure Adam could tell you a few stories. And by creating this group, if you want to go somewhere and get the version of the cryptocurrency education before it goes to a college, this will be a great place. And we're really excited to start it. If this is something that interests you, you should we'll put out something on x.com, and we'll probably do another live stream covering it. Basically, how we're going to run the 28th Wealth Group is we'll do live streams, and then we'll have like chats and strategies that you can go through. And our goal is to give you guys a really great package deal, and that can really help you advance your level in cryptocurrency. Or if you're new and you just want to know what's going on, this would be a great place for you. So overall, nothing is really changing. We're just adding this one really cool feature, and I'm sure we're going to keep doing titanX live streams and still talk about degenerate stuff in the meantime, and still have fun. It's cryptocurrency market, guys. we don't get many of these. And this last bear market absolutely sucked. So the next 2 years, it's gonna be really good years, and I'm excited to do it with Adam. Adam's a very intelligent dude. Talks about ISO 222, has all these plethora picks of coins that he gets into. You know, he loves getting into those types of coins. I love degen stuff. I love gaming coins. You know, we got our area specialty, and we bring it all together. We almost have all the bases covered. So really, really great stuff from that front. Anything else you want to add to that, dude?
Yeah, I would just say that there's a limited amount of stuff that you can cover and really say on YouTube. So having somewhere that's 100% unfiltered and just access to us whenever you want it. You know, I remember last cycle before there was even live streams and you had to watch pre-recorded videos of BitBoy and Lark and all these guys. When I had a transaction frozen on MetaMask, my wallet was stuck for like 6 days. I had to go into Richard Hart's stream and sit in the chat and ask, Richard, I have a transaction frozen on MetaMask. How do I, fix this? And after asking like 8 times, he was like, dude, I saw your question. I'll get to it. And like, he finally answered it. And he's like, you got to go to the custom nonce. You got to start a new transaction or whatever it was. I forget what it even was, but just having that place where if I had somewhere I could have went and asked that question right away and not into Richard Hart's stream 6 days after it happened, got an answer, I would have paid hundreds of dollars because I could not use my wallet for days. And that, who knows what that could have cost me. So, we just want to provide somewhere that is trustworthy, is somewhere that's safe, is somewhere fun where we can all come and have fun and just more access to us off the live streams here.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, if it's not your thing, completely understand. We'll keep doing live streams. If you got questions about stuff, we'll answer in the live streams. We're not going to do any like crazy gatekeeping like a lot of these guys do, or any weird sketchy stuff from the stories. We want to keep it clean, professional, and at the end of the day, me and Adam, we just want everybody to win. That's it. Anyone in cryptocurrency, our main goal isn't to beef with hex maxis like I love to do all the time, or to be the most famous person in cryptocurrency. Our main goal is to see you guys win, because when you guys win, we win. And at the end of the day, the cryptocurrency boom is very, very short, and this is your time to take opportunity. So good stuff. Now let's go through some questions. I got a super chat from Yo Mama. How many miners do you get for 369 greenbacks? All right, well, let's just go over here. So wait,
Probably what, like 425 to do a max?
yeah, I'm pretty sure if you just come over here.
Probably
So
90.
let's just do max miner. So
of 80.
yeah, you probably want to do a little bit less than 369. So probably like 75 on the miner power. So that means you probably have to do like 37. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, did it say max miners? Yeah. Well, you could probably do like 30.
I would do one for the 75. You're gonna get more bonus.
Yeah, it'd just be better just do that. Yeah. So there you go. You can do one miner. So awesome. Now let's just keep it moving and see. We got some more questions. All right, cool. Shout out to Coach X. Good to see you, brother. Tank, my man Tank. What's up, man? Appreciate the shout out. Shout out to Viber Finance. Always good stuff. Blue, always good to see you. Always good to have you in here. My boy Ray OX. Is always good to hear from you, dude. Always trying to escape the matrix, my man. Anna, good to see you. Awesome, awesome. titanX 8-day payouts destroying all other protocols. Rion, good to see you. Smoothing crypto, my man. titanX is God mode. There's a lot of Pulse people loving the project. I think there's a lot of smart people realizing there's more and more every day. I mean, that's typically how it goes from a really hated protocol to now I guess it's more so liked, and it's like on the verge of being loved. So awesome. Summer Solstice, good to see you. John May, what's up, Adam? Good stuff.
There he is.
All the way in you, man. This guy's always in my live streams. I love this guy. Oh la la, what is up, Vibra?
What is Vibra? Vibration. I was thinking of like frequency, vibration. What can I name the company? And Vibra just like stuck out.
Yeah.
So.
Couple happy birthdays to our girl Lindsay over here. Awesome, good stuff. Jake said he's most surprised by people staking the rewards from it. Also, his confidence saying he's not worried about all the titanX coming out in August makes me bullish. He knows all. Crystal ball. Nagabo level,
Jake,
baby.
Yeah, Jake stole that crystal ball from Nagabo, baby.
Yeah, that's good. This is a good point. The more miners we have, the more we all win. So awesome. Yep. Okay. Coach X, talk about the 808. Shout out to PTGC and the 808 token. Awesome token. Always bullish on that ecosystem. Our boy Bobby. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, man? So
okay, maybe selling all my Zen miners to go on a titanX. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't do all of them. I would maybe leave some Zen. I got some Zen. You can't, and that's the thing. Those are when people start sleeping on Zen, that's when it starts pumping like crazy. So we were all bullish on Zen for a reason, months ago, and I don't think that reason should have changed just because some delays, but
right. Oh, am I still sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone just put up a really great a tweet real quick. Sorry. I just want to verify something I saw. Okay. Nah, it's just a nothing burger. Never mind. All right, cool.
What was dumping?
Yeah, he said word got out Richard Heart was served some massive sell-off happening on Pulsechain now. Interesting. I mean, it's only down. Was it down 8% right now? Did Richard Heart really get served? I mean, I guess we'll gotta wait to see. I haven't checked Twitter, so it's down 8%. I mean, to be honest, I think everyone who sold at that point, but I'm not gonna say no. It's just interesting. Okay. Landscraper, good to see you, man. Cool. John May, still good time to get in. Hey, the best time to get in is today. If you do a miner, you're going to get more in rewards. So, always good. Are you two forgetting about hyper? Absolutely not. Probably talked about that before we mentioned it. So
yeah, I think so.
Okay, here we go. Do you think the hyper and titanX arbitrage opportunities will still be around once all the day 280 miners end? So if you got, all right, we got to do some assumptions. Let's say hyper launches January sometime. I don't know. I don't got the inside baseball on it, but if it were to be out there and launch and we get a massive amount of titanX hitting the market, the arbitrage opportunity would happen when you take the titanX, sell it for ETH, and then you'll see the price of the titanX ETH liquidity pool go down, and then you have the hyper titanX liquidity pool where you can basically take titanX from that liquidity pool and sell it into the titanX ETH liquidity pool. And that's where you're going to get the arbitrage opportunity. Hopefully I did that right. No, I'm sorry. You would take it from the titanX wrapped ETH pool and then sell it in the titanX hyper pool as that one goes down, because you actually earn the arbitrage opportunity. If you do it the other way, you actually lose money. So please don't do it that way. So I completely messed that up. But the goal is there will be, if there's a massive selling event on the titanX wrapped ETH pool, there will be an arbitrage opportunity. So what about PDI? We're always bullish on PDI. So good stuff. Hey, I know you gotta get out of here, so we'll just keep it moving. Let's see if we got any good questions.
I got another good 10, 15 minutes. We're good.
Okay. So what? All right. So what do you need to do to get the payout? Stake or mine? I don't get it.
Oh, you
So
got a stake, yeah.
yeah, so
Okay.
basically the best way to really explain this without getting too crazy in the weeds, the miners, you can use ETH to create a miner, and the miner will create the titanX token based on how long you want it to mine for. The miners create the titanX. The stakes is where you can either buy up titanX, create titanX from a miner, and you basically stake it out into the future, and you get something called a share rate. And with that share rate, it determines how much ETH dividends you get through the rolling payout period. So the staking of titanX doesn't create titanX. It just determines how much ETH dividends you get out into the future. The titanX miner creates titanX. That's the only thing where you're going to get inflation behind titanX. I know these two concepts are confusing, but essentially buy the titanX and then you just stake it out for how long you want. Uh Please announce your streams in the titanX TG chat so we can come and support you. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Oh yeah, shout out to Utah Crypto, really great guy. So let's see. Let's see if we got any more questions.
So from Sam, go up one. I think how much it we're doing $80. I think we're gonna keep it to 10 people at first so it stays small. And then we can kind of grow from there as needed and kind of as the group prefers. We don't want to just have, a bunch of people come in and it just be overwhelming. Like we want to keep it small at first so it's you get value out of it.
Yeah, yeah. The goal is we're gonna keep it small and then grow it over time. And you know, we don't want to like do that crazy thing where it's like 1,000 people at once. This is going to be a very well planned out rollout, so to say. So I don't know if that made sense, but let's see. Did you guys know that in January 2024 there will be 3 consecutive payout days from 8, 28, 90 day payout? Pretty wild to think about. That's actually pretty crazy. In January, wow, 3 payout days. Yeah, looks like people are going to go. I think a lot of people are probably going to be using that to start new miners or, maybe buy some of the tokens, stake it out in the future. So that could be really bullish for titanX during that period of time. But really great point, RayoX. So cool. Awesome. Well, I think that's it for the live stream. We went in all things titanX, revealed the 28th wealth group. We'll talk about a little bit more, really exciting things to come. First and foremost, Adam, thank you so much for coming on. I know you got to get out of here. You got a lot of stuff to do, but it's always great when you come on the channel. We talk all things titanX. We talk all things degen, and I'm sure we'll be doing this a lot going on in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's hard to hold back all the other stuff that we talk about off stream here. There's plays literally in every ecosystem across the board. You could pick an ecosystem and gaming is blowing up over there, or AI, or there's something everywhere. So now's the time to get in early, find those degen plays, do that research. And yeah, if you need some help and you want to come play with the degens with Kris and myself, we're looking forward to it. Hey, Bobby, no streaming tonight. It's Lindsay's birthday. She said I'm not allowed. So gotta listen to her.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, yeah, and also special happy birthday, Lindsay. Please, tag her on Twitter or X, wherever you call it, and make it a really good birthday for her. So, but yeah, outside that, man, guys, please follow Adam over at Viber Finance on YouTube and also on X.com. I'll leave it down in the description below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.